day, like I couldn't find it. We couldn't find it. And so that's essentially the company we set out to build. And, we're on our way.
So as veteran owned, and we talked about this, how do you get the military to lift their ban on something like CBD?
Well,
does it happen?
I think so. I do think so. I based on discussions that I've had and reading between the lines, my understanding is that CBD is banned in the military specifically because THC is banned in the military.
Right.
THC is banned. Got it. Copy. Can't have guys getting high. Okay, fine. But initially when sort of CBD kind of came on the scene and THC became more of a like legalized in say Washington State where I was stationed for a while, guys were coming in popping hot on their urinalysis and they'd come in, and say, hey, you just tested positive for THC. And guys would come in and say, oh, I didn't smoke weed. I took CBD. I thought I was allowed to do that. Is that not okay? And then, there was it was a BS factor there. 100%. So the military ultimately came out and was like, look, okay, we've heard enough of this BS. Like now nobody can take any of it. No excuses. Like if you pop hot for THC, you are going to have a problem, period, dot. And there's no more, we're just going to take away this excuse for you. That's my understanding of why the ban has happened. It happened on a branch by branch basis. So like the Navy did it, then the Army did it, then the Marine Corps did it. I'm not sure about the order, but like that's kind of how it went down. But I do ultimately see. I mean, you can see from the VA's perspective, it's not. I don't know, legal is not the right word, but it is federally legal. Period. But I'm not sure exactly how they go about permitting or doing all that, but the VA is well on their way to taking a good hard look at that natural solutions to problems, whether it be CBD for pain, stress, sleep. There's even studies that are happening right now for psychedelics, et cetera, for PTSD, you name it. So I think the VA is honestly on the right path, and where the VA goes, I think there's evidence to support that the military will follow, to say nothing of the fact that there is legislation. It's held up right now, but it is on Capitol Hill floating around to actually legalize CBD or get it off the banned substance list for, I believe it's the Marine Corps. And if that happens, then, it's just a matter of time before the others come down. So short and long of it is yes, there's a lot of stigma. There's still a lot of question marks. But there's a lot of incredible data and studies to show that, and just general experience to show that, particularly for again, guys like us who've kind of put our bodies through a lot. Other guys, we've got ambassadors on the VRB team who are, former SEAL team guys, former Delta Force operators,
I know you
fighter
just see
pilots.
so many people benefiting from that.
And that's these are guys that were really psyched to be helping, because these are people that are just in pain, and they can't sleep, and they're stressed out, and they're hurting, and these are clean quality products that can help folks get what they need. And so we're proud of being able to just get in there and be sort of a white hat player in the space that folks can trust and just know exactly what they're going to get,
Yeah. I personally have no problem with THC. I used to when I was younger, and I personally don't do it, but from what I've seen, the benefits of it, and even THC in conjunction with CBD has shown some very promising recovery benefits.
Yep.
So, I don't get the stigma with it, and especially CBD. It's amazing the lack of education people still have, and I totally understand it. Anytime I mention CBD or hey, you want to try rest or you want to try work or anything like that, they're like, oh, is it going to get me high? It's like the cleaned up cousin of the of THC. So there's still going to be that stupid stigma, even with THC, in my personal opinion, of this old school thought that it shouldn't be something available to service members or police officers, which just absolutely drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And I think there's also a problem currently with the clinical research with CBD. A lot of it's anecdotal. Legally, if I were to counsel you on how you're supposed to talk about its benefits, you're supposed to say may promote, right? Not that it will promote, even if there are definitive clinical studies, definitive quote unquote, that it can do it, because some of those clinical studies lack certain oversight in the quality of CBD being used as well. because it still is a wild west.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, at the end of the day, man, like this is something that it's a continuum. There's going to be a process. But I honestly had the same assessment as you. Like this was just like up space that was the Wild West. It was hard to kind of like piece it together. And I did kind of carry a lot of that stigma myself, kind of coming into the space, and slowly but surely identifying like what my hangups were, and then just answering those questions. Like, okay, why is cannabis stigmatized in our culture? Okay, got it. Why are we okay with, you know, a 6-pack of Budweiser on a Wednesday night after work to take the stress meter down? Why are we cool with that? And this, ostensibly, if you can find a no kidding high quality CBD compound, clean, effective, natural, safe, etc. Why am I looking at these two things differently? And why am I thinking to myself, do people like me do stuff like this? You know, why am I having that thought process?
Do people like me?
Yeah, do guys like me do stuff like this?
Yeah.
And then you slowly but surely answer those questions, and you're like, oh, like this is actually okay. And a lot of this is sort of my is couched in socialization and sort of the culture that I was brought up in, and who I think I am and who I want to be and all that. And you're like, okay, I've answered all these questions, and now I'm actually okay with not only being like, in my case, like being a consumer of these compounds and goods, but also like ultimately looking at myself and saying, hey, is this a business that I'm proud to be in? And yeah, it is. Like, this is a business that, like, again, it's going to help a ton of people, and we happen to have a fantastic set of products to reach out and touch folks like us that may also feel stigmatized in that way.
Yeah, and just an outside perspective, talk to you about your business. It seems like you have this very unique role in how you and Evan have like created the business, where you had like passion with it, but it seems like your passion continually grows the more you guys are like unraveling how great CBD is, or how much you can benefit the military community and stuff like that. Is that right?
For sure, man. And a lot of it is like, we just get it into folks' hands. Like, you know, not naming names here, but there is a guy who is one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met in my life. He's a former Delta Force operator, which, if you don't know what that is, it's like, imagine the gnarliest thing you can do in the military, and then do the thing that's like harder than that, or like more intense or more prestigious than that. These guys are intense. So this guy did that for a long time, and, you know, he was one of the guys in the Battle of Mogadishu, the Black Hawk Down.
Oh, really?
Movie was based off of.
I met some of those guys.
One of those dudes. He's rad. He's like, you know, he's a friend. He's a mentor. He's an incredible person. But, like, you know, he told us essentially right out of the gate, Jason Evan, he's like, man, I like you guys and I want to help and all that. But, you know, it's just, I don't know about the compound. I don't know about like the whole CBD cannabis thing. Like, I don't know. Let me know how I can help, but, like, I don't know that I want to try it or whatever. I'm like, yeah, man, that's fine. Understand. We're not going to, like, you know, twist your arm or anything like that. And then ultimately, weeks down the line, he was like, hey man, I'm in pain. And I've reached my wit's end. I'm willing to give it a go. So, you know, are we good? And I was like, 100%. Got him a package immediately. And within a couple weeks, and I'm trying to like tell the story in a way that's not going to like out him or anything, but like the bottom line is, he ended up calling, and he's like, hey man, this shit is incredible. I love it. I appreciate it. He's like, I was finally able to I haven't been able to run in a long time, and now I'm back at it. And so the short and long of it is, like, to get more like back to your point, you know, helping people and having guys that we respect, and that, you know, we feel like we're doing, I don't know if service is the right word, but like, we're helping folks that we respect and that we ultimately love. And when we get the feedback from them, dude, it's like freaking high octane gasoline. It like fires me up. That gives me, you know, I have a hard time going to sleep after that, because I'm just like, oh, we got to go. We got to like get this into more guys' hands. Another guy that I'm thinking of right now, Vietnam vet. Actually, his son is one of our friends, former Navy SEAL. his son has the products, and his dad, Vietnam vet, essentially was like, "Hey man, I haven't slept. Like he had self-reported pretty bad PTSD, and he self-reported that he had been unable to get like a decent night's sleep since like the early 90s. And so he's like, I'm willing to try anything. Like I'm like in tough shape. So his son, our friend, got him some of our rest product, the sleep blend, and within maybe like a week, 2 weeks later, we got we have a chat bot on our website where somebody can like just do basically a direct message to Evan and I.
Oh, it's you guys doing the chat bot?
100%, dude. Small business. Let's
right.
go. But it came right to us, and it was like, I don't want to again out this guy, and I don't want to butcher what it actually said, but it said something to the effect of like, fellas, I haven't slept in a long time. This is incredible. Thank you. I'm an old vet, a Vietnam vet, and this is like changing the game for me. First 7-8 hour nights of sleep I've had in years and years and years. And like, Evan and I are cranking, we're working at the WeWork, we're doing all kinds of stuff, man. Like we've got like new products that we're working on. We're trying to build a marketing presence and like, build brand awareness. And that was the thing where we saw that. And we just like sat down and we're just like looking at each other like, dude, we're doing something like,
hell yeah, man.
We're helping people. This is something we can be like very proud of. And we're freaking fired up to do it. So every time we get like feedback like that, which is now, thank God, coming like more and more often, is it's like exhilarating. It's super fun. Like it makes all of it feel worth it. And I'm super fired up about this. I really am passionate about it.
Yeah, I still think you guys are in the infancy of the CBD market,
sure.
Even though a lot of companies have gotten quite a bit of a head start. But your guys' product, it's not a matter of will you grow. It's just like when you guys are going to grow. Yep. The more people that use your product, the more people I think are going to find is superior to. I mean, it's better than anything I've used before.
Dude, that means everything, man. Honestly, I'm not joking. That's like the lifeblood that I'm like.
Yeah, and
I'm eating like one meal a day. I'm drinking a heap of coffee, and like when I get feedback like that, like that's all I need to keep this train on the tracks.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be blunt again with anybody. It's just a great product, and I like anybody that's going to try CBD. I am like encourage you to try VRB Labs.